What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex. My favorite color is blue. My favorite food? Lou Malnati's pizza, sausage, onion, mushroom, butter crust. It's the best. I don't really care for long walks on the beach, but I do love me a big old billet wheel ball bearing turbo, especially when it's for this, my 2005 E320 CDI. So in this video, I got my bag full of tools. I got said turbo, and that's all we need. But actually, we need some gaskets and stuff too, but I have that as well. So today I'm at Driven Performance in Wooddale, Illinois. You guys can probably see the big sign behind me. These guys work on hot rods. They also do general repair and maintenance on all sorts of different cars. So if you guys live in the Chicagoland area, definitely give them a call. I'll leave all of their information linked down below. Now I'm here because I'm having some major problems with my garage, some major electrical issues. We just had a lot of electrical work done on the house. Then the electric company came out to reconnect the service. I flipped on the light switch. All of the lights started flashing yesterday. The blower was clicking on and off. Then I heard a sizzling sound and a big puff of smoke. One of my power strips lit on fire, smoked up the whole garage. It was really scary. I shut the main breaker off. I called the electrician immediately. He came right over yesterday, and after 8 hours, they can't figure out what's going on. Something about the 220 circuit is bleeding into the 110 circuit and just overloading the entire place. So hopefully my garage is fixed. I really need it. But luckily the guys at Driven here are letting me use their shop. So I brought my own tools. I brought my own turbo, and we are going to be installing this on the car today, seeing what she sounds like. I cannot wait. This is something I've been working on with a company called Darkside Developments for over a month now. I wanted to come out with a totally bolt-on solution with a billet wheel, a ball bearing turbo that can produce a lot more power than the factory one on this car. So this is going to be a very, very easy swap that all of you guys can do at home. And I'm going to talk to you about all the specifications and the price and the power potential of this turbo here in a minute. But first, we got to get to work. We got to rip the old turbo off to make room for this guy. All right, guys, we got the old turbo off, and look at all of this room. Now, pro tip here, disconnect as much of the exhaust from down below from the brackets as you can. Push this back. It makes life a ton easier. So basically what I did here, guys, was I bought a used turbo off of a subscriber, like a 275,000 mile turbo, and I sent it out to Darkside Developments in the UK, and they did this, what you see right here. So that way I didn't have any downtime with my car. And the only thing that we got to swap over is going to be the oil drain, and this is the variable vane actuator motor. So the goal here was very simple. I wanted a totally bolt-on turbocharger option for the CDI that wasn't going to break the bank. So this turbocharger right here was only 600 euro, or about 685 US dollars. And then you figure with shipping, you're into it about $750, $800. And I'll leave a coupon code down below for 25 euro off of shipping. Something else that was very important to me was quality and longevity. So there are no Chinese parts used in this turbocharger. It is made in Europe, and Darkside Developments is a big player in the turbo diesel game out in Europe. They do some amazing work. And what they were able to do with this is fit the largest billet compressor wheel that you can fit in the factory Garrett GT28 housing, and the largest turbine wheel that you can fit in this housing and still work effectively, which is key. So these guys have been working with turbochargers for a long time, and this should pair with our straight six engine very, very nicely. So like I said, our new turbocharger has been upgraded to a ball bearing unit, which is awesome. This is going to spool up a lot quicker. So let's go over exactly how much bigger the new turbocharger is compared to the old turbocharger. And to do that, and go go over some terminology. I have a very scientific chart that I wrote up myself, and we have the original center cartridge that came out of this turbo that I had sent out to the UK. So what we're looking at right here is the compressor wheel. This is also on the cold side of the turbo right here. So you have your air filter that basically connects to this here, and then this is where all the boost pressure comes out of right here. So on the compressor wheel, you have two measurements. You have your inducer, which is going to be the front part of this wheel, and you have your exducer. So from the factory, our inducer right here is 44.45 millimeters, and we're jumping all the way up to 54 millimeters. And this is also a billet wheel, so it's lighter, it's going to spin faster, and just be a lot more efficient. The exducer on the compressor wheel is 59.3 from the factory, and we're bumping all the way up to 73 millimeters. So as you can see already, the stock turbo is definitely not cool, and the badass Darkside turbo is super cool. I mean, not billet at all, dude. I mean, who does that? Moving on, we have the turbine side. So this is the exhaust side of the turbo. So that is the wheel. On the back side, that is the wheel that gets spun by the exhaust that's going in here and the heat created by the exhaust. And basically, the compressor wheel kind of dictates the power potential of the turbo, and the turbine can limit that power potential. So this is your restriction in the exhaust, so you want this sized properly for your engine. In this case, the inducer and exducer measurements are flipped. The front of the turbine is the exducer, and that is going to be 46 millimeters compared to 54 millimeters. And then our inducer, the bigger backside of it, is 50.45 all the way to 58. So I looked up on the Garrett website, and the closest turbo that I could find, which is actually smaller than this one, is rated at about 350 horsepower. So hopefully we should be able to create even more horsepower and probably a whole boatload of torque with this turbocharger, especially once we start throwing a bunch of fuel at this thing.
The magical world which fills the atmosphere of Formula One racing moves from the posh hotels to the pits at the racetrack.
You've got to be smart, and you've got to be fast.
Guys, check this out. Brand new turbocharger is fully installed and looking amazing, but you want to know what doesn't look that amazing? Everything around it. This air intake tube right here, that could look a lot better, and this exhaust manifold has seen better days as well. So I'm thinking I may remove the exhaust manifold, get it ceramic coated, or I could just spray it myself with some high temp gray spray paint, and then at that point we can weld in our exhaust gas temperature sensor bung somewhere in this area here, which is very important for diesel tuning, especially when you start getting into bigger modifications like a turbocharger. All right, guys, the CDI is back on the road. Checked everything over, no leaks, we're all good. Let's take a listen with no air filter. Alright guys, comment down below if you guys think this sounds any differently. It may be a little bit louder. The turbo does sound like it's spooling a little bit louder. That could be because we don't have an air filter. So let's pop this thing back on. I don't know. It sounds a little quieter with this thing on. Obviously, we got to run an air filter, but I'm trying to find out if we do anything with the intake system, if we're going to hear a little bit more turbo spool, but I have a feeling that it has a lot to do with the silencer, which is located down there. So once we do the front mount intercooler, we'll probably get rid of the silencer, and then the larger intercooler itself may free it up a little bit, and we may hear a little bit of this turbo. So let's go for a quick ride. All right, guys, half throttle here. All right, it's hard to tell 100% if the turbocharger has added a lot of horsepower and torque, but I think it has. That was a half throttle, and it just threw me back and lit the tires up. So I know that is a butt dyno, and we will be getting this car on a real dyno, but I can't just go out right now and beat the ever-living crap out of this car. So the footage you just saw was around half throttle because we're adding a lot more air now with a better flowing turbocharger, and we have to match the fuel with that. So I have to get a wideband installed on the car and then our exhaust gas temperature probe so we can monitor that as well and send the data back to Race IQ and kind of fine-tune this thing. So I can't go too nuts with it right now, although I really, really want to. But as you can tell, the car isn't much louder than it was before, so this could definitely be sleeper status if that's what you guys are looking for. If you threw the rear mufflers back on the car, it would basically sound exactly the same as a totally stock car. And as you can tell, you can't see anything. Once you put the airbox back on, you can't tell that it has a bigger turbocharger. It fits right in there. It's awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to do. So a lot more for Project CDI is on the way. We have E55 brakes coming. We have E55 sway bars and axles coming. I also ordered a larger main injection pump because these diesels, they want fuel. You got to feed them more fuel, especially when you're flowing more air. And then we got to measure up for a bigger intercooler and a bunch of other stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying this content as much as I'm enjoying making it. I'm so excited about this project. It is my daily driver as well. And what's really cool about this car is that we can make it powerful and get amazing fuel economy. I've gotten over 40 miles per gallon on the highway. So very, very excited about this. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, share the video, and most importantly, have an awesome day, and I'll see all of you in the next video.